All right. I hope you guys are ready. We're breaking down. This is it. The finale to the reunion of Salt Lake City. Part 3 is finally aired. We learned about Heather's black eye. I almost wanted to give her another one for lying to us. Monica is Reality Von Tease, sort of. We got into that a little bit. And we say goodbye to Mary Cosby, but hopefully not forever. Let's dive into it. Oh, hi. It's me, Zack Peter, pop culture junkie, reality TV insider, published author, and host of the No Filter with Zack Peter podcast. Here I'll bring you all the latest news on the Real Housewives, deep dives into celebrity legal scandals, and unfiltered combos with your favorite stars. I've got you covered. And yes, I always keep receipts. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. Now, let's dive in. All right, guys, welcome on in. It is the finale. It is the end. We've reached the tail end of this.
I know. I even wore my Later Gator shirt. Bye.
But we're not done, right? We'll still be back on Wednesdays.
We'll be back on Wednesdays for Vanderpump Rules, baby.
I did poll the audience and I asked them, I said, should I recap Vanderpump Rules? And if so, should I bring back Josh? And it was unanimous. Everybody said that there was no way we could do Wednesday nights without you, which I was a little sad about because I was like, well, listen, I have other friends that I can bring to rotation. Well, there were like 2 people that were like, maybe not.
Okay, well, fuck y'all.
But Josh will be back next Wednesday and we'll start recapping Vanderpump Rules, which should be a good one. I already saw the premiere.
I won't be back next week.
Listen,
how the fuck did you
I got the screener.
Okay, well, thank you for waiting.
I would have waited, but I think I was pissed at you that day. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
When did you get it?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago?
Before the premiere party, that's for sure. I was one of the very first to be able to watch it.
I didn't do anything to you a few weeks ago.
I was probably just in a saucy mood.
Shocking.
Look at everyone's happy. Aaron D voted for you. Aaron D's the one that's always promoting your YouTube channel.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And next week, I'm going to start watching Capote versus the Swans, the 2nd season of Feud, and I'll be recapping that. Haven't decided on a day yet because I'm still doing my Sundays with Southern Charm New Orleans.
Oh, so you're going to get a triple dose of Josh.
Yeah. Well, for anybody that subscribes. Sorry. Zach gave me a drink that had weed in it. So
I did not imbibe, but he did enjoy his weed drink. Okay.
This is going to be fun.
Look at there's Aaron D promoting. Aaron D promoting you yet again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Guys, go subscribe to Josh, like his content, watch his videos. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. That is the goal. You're right now, what, just over 500?
I think I'm at like 550. Maybe.
Which, wow. The impact of the Zack Pack.
Yep. Y'all have been truly incredible to me. I really appreciate that. All jokes aside, all banter aside, I'm appreciative very much so to Zach for bringing me onto his platform and giving me the exposure and for how welcoming y'all all have been. Thank you.
As you should be.
Okay.
I am amazing. Like Lisa Barlow, who we found out in this week's episode of Salt Lake City that she gets glam daily. She pays for glam daily.
You know what? Honestly, if you can afford it and that's what you like, then go for it. Who gives a shit? And like people giving her shit about the fact that she does that, I don't care. Like, why do y'all care so much? Just let her do it. Let her live her life.
Listen, if she can afford it and she's not taking it from the orphans and the widows, then like, why not?
Praise God.
Good for her. We say goodbye to Mary Cosby.
That was sad.
Was it? I feel like there was no need to keep Mary in like the first 2 minutes.
I mean, for real, because she wasn't on that much this season, but I just love seeing her on the screen so much.
No, but I meant like she didn't give it anything in this third part of the reunion other than the exit and her being like, Lisa, the reason you have glam every day is because you're insecure.
Yeah, well.
Do you think that makes Lisa Barlow?
If she would have been up there any longer, something would have eventually came out.
Do you believe Lisa Barlow is insecure?
I think we are all insecure to some extent. I don't know. If you want to have glam every day, maybe that is something that you should talk about with somebody, but I don't know.
No, let her listen. If she can afford it and she's living her
Yeah.
best life, then let her have her glam every single day. But then we
Right.
get into. I was bummed though that we let Mary go before we even got into Reality Von Tease. Like I was expecting Mary to come in and be
Right.
able to defend Monica.
If you would, that's what I was saying. If you would have given her more time, we would have gotten a lot of good sound bites from Mary, no doubt.
Okay, then we get into Bermuda.
Mhm.
And we don't know who Monica and Meredith got the DMs from because that was a big topic of conversation on the show. Somebody DM'd them about information about Angie K, but we don't get any details. Originally,
Right.
we thought that this was Monica that was behind some alternate burner account that was sending this info to Mary, and then she like also sent it to herself. But now she's denying that she was part of the DMs to Meredith and herself, which is also still weird as to who would then think to DM this information to Monica, being that at that point nobody really knew that Monica was even on the
Wait,
show.
she said that it wasn't her.
Right.
She didn't say I wasn't involved in it.
Well, who do you think it was?
I don't know. Probably somebody that we haven't even heard of. But who,
So you
like,
think she had a hand in those DMs?
I don't know. She could have been feeding information to somebody and then, kind of went into cohort? Cahoots?
Cahoots.
Cahoots. That's a funny word.
But then she does admit that she was part of the Reality Von Tease account. But she's very adamant that the account never comes after the other women.
Okay.
And to be fair, though, we don't see any of the posts attacking any of the other women. We're only going off of what they say they remember of this account. But Monica's like, but all of the highlights of what was posted are still on that account currently.
Did we not see any of the negativity that they posted?
The only things that we saw were specifically about Heather, and they were things that Jen Shaw was saying about Heather that they were reposting. And that's when they're like, what's the difference between saying them to yourselves or reposting them? And Heather's like, and you would repeatedly post them and tag all of us when you would post them. She's like, yeah, well, we would always tag everybody when we would post things.
That is, it just, the whole thing got dark.
Well, then we see her pull out the burn book.
Oh God, that was such a letdown.
Thoughts on the burn book?
Well, number one, she like tried to bring it out and kind of sugarcoat things. And I actually, hold on, let me go to my notes. This could take a minute because I got a lot of them.
Wait, Remy said something. Josh, can you show the snapshot of the Heather DM you said you thought was fake?
What? The snapshot of the Heather DM I thought was fake. Remy, text me. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I don't know what you're talking about either. Sounds like a personal conversation that happened off the internet that should stay off the internet.
What?
Nothing.
I'm not going to find this. But anyways, I thought it was very gimmicky that she brought out the burn book to begin with. And then she like tried to sugarcoat it by saying, oh, listen, we talk about everybody, by saying that Andy was the other half of New York fucker or whatever. It just seemed like she was trying to make it like a funny haha thing when in fact they were just being total assholes on that account to those women.
I thought the burn book was a total fucking flop. Listen, the burn book itself, like the presentation of the burn book looked really nice. Like you can tell she invested some Kinko's money. You know, she'd spent some Staples money on trying to actually put the burn book together. Good for her. I thought that the first few pages about them being like, jokey or whatever, it wasn't a joking matter. Like the other women had taken this so seriously that I think that she'd missed the mark. But I also like to make really inappropriate jokes at really inappropriate times. So I appreciate her sentiment, but it was a total flop. It didn't land. I just feel like it was pointless. I mean, I appreciate that she printed out all of the posts from Reality Von Tease, but it didn't do anything.
Right. I know. And it was like, when it was put in the trailers and everything, you thought, oh shit, what is she going to be bringing out? Nothing. It was nothing new.
And
Just gimmicky. It was great publicity for the new Mean Girls musical,
which we saw,
and I highly recommend
watching it on mushrooms or just watching it.
An edible is real good.
Just don't watch it sober. I don't like musicals in general, and sober, I just feel like not the vibe.
It was a vibe for me that night. I loved the lights. I loved everything.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was a good time. I just thought, listen, the new Mean Girls never will compare to the original Mean Girls. The original Girls will go down as an iconic movie, and you can't redo it. That's like trying to remake. What was that one about the hooker? Julia Roberts.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I saw that one. I was like, why is everybody so about the hooker?
Sex work shaming. Good job, Zach.
I'm not sex work shaming, Joshua. I'm just saying I didn't realize there was such a great romanticized movie about a hooker. Like, good for her. She found some love, but at the same time, just like, why is this movie so overhyped?
Okay. Anyways, Rummy gave me some screenshots talking, and I don't even know that I believe this, Rummy. So the first one is allegedly a screenshot of a iMessage conversation and it's looking like it's come from Heather, whatever. Hi, Boo. They wanted your theory on my black eye, and then Meredith called to get you biggest regret, and then Whitney called because she thought you would fight with her. Our car is coming at 4:15 a.m. I'll be home tomorrow morning in case you want to scissor me and have another sex injury. There is no show without you. I was silent unless spoken to. Nothing to fight. I don't believe that.
Who's that from?
It's supposedly a screenshot of Heather sending that text to somebody. I'm assuming Jen. But I don't believe that shit for a second.
Which part?
That was Heather sending that. I think it's so easy to like have a friend send you a message, then put somebody else's name as their like contact name and say, "Oh, look, Heather sent me this." Bullshit. Don't buy it.
Well, Monica says that the page never spoke badly about the other women, but in contrast, that the page actually spoke highly of the other women. And we do see like photos of the women at events, and the page is like, oh my God, they look so hot. So like there were compliments that were paid to the women.
No, sorry. I completely agree with Heather on this one. She was like,
yeah,
in comparison to the tens of thousands of things that you said about us, you're no hero. That moment I was like, yes, absolutely. I completely agree with her. You can't just talk shit about somebody or do negative things against them incessantly, then just try to come in with like a little present and be like, here, is everything better? No.
Is bitch better?
Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
Then we find out, Lisa Barlow reveals that Monica is the one that set up the security system in Jen's house and was possibly monitoring Jen.
Oh my God. I am pretty sure. And she kept saying that was my security system. Bitch, if it's in her house, that is her security system. That's illegal. There's no way that that's not illegal.
Oh, it's totally illegal. But I just want to know why the security system needed to be set up in Monica's name and not Jen's name. There's something about that feels
Did she say it
illegal.
had to be set up
in
her name?
She said, Monica said the reason she had access to it is because Jen made her set it up in her name, not in Jen's name.
That could have been just an innocuous comment, though. Jen just told me to set it up in my name. Maybe she just didn't. I don't know.
Jen was doing some shady shit, so it's like, why would... Well, maybe because, again, my own speculation, maybe it was because Jen knew that she was being monitored, and if the FBI were to obtain a subpoena to have access to her security footage, the subpoena would mean they would have access to Jen's security footage.
Right.
And they don't have legal grounds to subpoena Monica's security footage. So if it's Monica's security system in Monica's name, I would assume there wouldn't be any legal grounds to get that. Right?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
That makes sense.
Very solid theory.
Do you believe that she was watching Jen from the security footage?
Yes.
She is like, she doesn't really like
She would
own it or
drive by
deny
her
it.
house.
Yeah, that was creepy. And that is stalking. Like that is you had access to her security footage, whether you want to admit that you were viewing it or not. The fact that she was driving by Jen's house and doing stakeouts, and
that
then
the FBI told her to do. Come on. The FBI is not going to
that was weird. Where Andy's like, did the FBI ask you to do this? And she was like, yeah. And Jen owed us money. So you were sitting outside her house because she owed you money? Like, what does that have to do with it? Were you trying to blackmail her? It sounds like that's what she was trying to do. You owed us money, so we were trying to find you driving drunk so that we can blackmail you and say we can turn this into the feds unless you give us our money.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bitch, but I have my money.
I think that Monica really crashed and burned this final part of the reunion. Still made good TV, but
I still don't understand why they were trying to catch her drinking and driving. And Heather's like, that's not something we need a citizen arrest for.
Because I don't know what I was kind of like getting glimpses of through this incessant shouting was that if they were able to catch her for anything, then they could, like the FBI or whatever, could really like dig in deeper into her.
Yep.
So like if she would have gotten caught stealing a pack of Tic Tacs, then the FBI would have been able to like nail her. All they needed was that one thing to open up the door.
Well, then Monica reveals that she actually told casting that she was part of Reality Von Tease.
Yes.
Which Andy then responds and says, if we knew that you were part of a troll account or a fan account, we would have never cast you on the show.
Right.
Do you believe that casting and production knew about this?
I feel like there was someone who knew. Probably not anybody like, not like an executive producer. I feel like maybe some little peon knew about it.
I was trying to explain this on the podcast today because we've been in castings before, right? Yeah. Which are hours upon hours of interviews and follow-up interviews, and like you give so much information in these interviews to these casting directors, which are really at the bottom of the totem pole. And so what they do is they take all of that footage and then they edit it down to a sizzle about you. And then they pitch you to the network with whatever story they want to set. Whatever's the most compelling piece of what you gave them is what they then take to the network. And then the network, and they try to position you in the best light possible. The network will then review that and decide whether or not they want to move forward with you casting on the show. So casting producers, their job is to source multiple people, interview multiple people, conduct multiple interviews, and then edit all of that down into the best possible, couple of minutes or even 1 minute that really sells you on how they think you would be a good fit for the show. The casting crew is also responsible for doing the background checks. They're responsible for vetting these people as well. So it is possible that in her casting interviews, Monica did say, oh yeah, I was part of an account that was trying to take down Jen Shah. We were trying to expose Jen Shah. Yeah. I also worked for the feds, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure it was a footnote in her point about trying to take down Jen Shah and working with the feds, but I'm sure it wasn't a point that anybody picked up on. Because, like, are you really going to pick on the fact that she was part of a troll account? Like, it just, to me, it was like such a non-main fact. And again, a casting producer's job is to find the best pieces about you to pitch to the networks. Yeah. So I believe her when she says that she said it in her casting tapes and that people knew about it. However, I believe Andy when he's like, but if we would have known that you were behind a troll account, we wouldn't have cast you because then you look like an obsessive fan. And a casting producer's job is not to make you look like an obsessive fan. A casting producer's job is to make you look like the best possible fit for a housewife on the show.
Very well said.
Thank you.
You can get off your soapbox now.
Well, Remy says, yes, they did know because of the cease and desist. I want to address this too, because I feel like, again, there are so many different departments and players in this that if Jen Shah turned over a folder of information that included a cease and desist about a troll account, their priority is not to look deep into the troll account or to look at all of the multiple names that were listed in that cease and desist. There were like 6 people that were listed in that cease and desist. Monica had multiple names. She was going by Monica Fowler, Monica Darnell, Monica Garcia. I believe she was Monica Fowler when they filed the cease and desist, and then she became Monica Garcia by the time she joined the show.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that they wouldn't have connected those dots. And I don't think like they were seriously thinking, oh yeah, the casting crew is going to bring us somebody that's received a cease and desist from Jen Shaw. Also because cease and desists are not that serious. Like that's the other part is people think a cease and desist is such like a big legal thing. A cease and desist just says stop doing something or else I'm going to sue you. It's a threat. It's meant to scare people, but it doesn't have any real weight to it. So I don't think they took the cease and desist that seriously. The same way Monica said that her and the Reality Von Tease team didn't take the cease and desist seriously, which is why they kept the account going. So
done with that one.
Monica denies sending the DMs to Meredith. And then we get into the black eye.
Mm-hmm.
So Heather says that she doesn't know how she got the black eye, but she knows that she got it from Jen. Yeah. Something about that does sound a little sketchy. I don't know how I got it, but I know it came from Jen.
Yeah, that was a question that I had because I didn't like, how are you going to know that she did it, but you're not going to know how she did it?
Yeah. And can you even say that? Like now I kind of understand where Jen Shaw was like, I will sue you if you come out with this and say that I gave you the black eye. There's no footage of it. There's no proof that Jen actually did it. I'm not trying to defend Jen Shaw, but I'm just saying with the cards that we were given, Heather gives us no details. We got no details about Reality Von Tease. We got no details about who else was involved in Reality Von Tease. We don't really know Monica's involvement in Reality Von Tease other than she would occasionally post things about Jen Shaw. And we don't get anything about the black eye other than this like footage that's hard to hear that to me isn't really incriminating enough to prove that Jen Shaw punched Heather Gay. I believe Jen Shaw punched Heather Gay, but you know.
Well, my whole thing about it was like when we got to the security footage of it though, you could just see like the terror in Jen Shaw's face.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh fuck, I am fucked." Because at that point they still believed that she didn't do anything like defrauding the elderly or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I can see that like Heather still thinking this was a friend of hers. She's like, "Oh my god, she's completely innocent in this thing, but if, she's found out to like have
this violent streak,
yeah, then it would be like immediate jail time.
It would have affected her parole.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah Bahu. Sarah hasn't been in the live chat in a minute. Shout out to Sarah Bahu. I don't think the footage really told. Jen does look guilty in the footage, but I don't think it tells us any more than what we already assumed went down. But Heather and Jen both denied it. There was a whole investigation that went down. Lisa Barlow says that she was upset with Heather. She said that Heather put people's jobs at risk. Dorinda Medley spoke about this recently, and she's like, Heather lied to production. She lied to HR. She lied to the audience. I agree, and a lot of people are bringing up the difference or comparing Heather to Monica, and they're like, how is it that Heather's lie is better than Monica's lies?
Well, I just told you my whole reasoning behind it is that I think she really thought that Jen was innocent.
Yeah.
And that she was trying to protect her friend.
And listen, I believe
nothing more than that.
Yeah, I believe what Heather said of being like, it got way bigger than I ever expected to. And once I started lying, like I didn't know how to put the genie back in the bottle. I didn't know how to stop it. And then Jen pled guilty and then it was going to affect her prison time. And I was like, I already lied. I already started this investigation. She's like, I didn't know how to take it back. I don't think she expected it to go as far as it did. However, I did not like that Heather did, as Andy pointed out, went on her book tour and was making light of it and saying that it was possible that somebody broke in and gave her a black eye. And it was possible that Bravo had footage of it and wasn't releasing the footage intentionally.
Yeah, Andy was not happy about that. You could tell when he said, it's not funny to accuse producers and a production company for covering this up. I mean, that's very damning to them.
Yeah.
But in that moment, like, it seemed like the look on Heather's face was that she was worried about losing her snowflake.
But listen, I also think that is something she should lose her snowflake over. I'm glad that she's not. Listen, I like Heather and I understand where she was coming from. And that's not to say I don't have empathy for why she was trying to protect Jen. But at the same time, it's also like, but there do need to be some serious consequences for what she did, because what she did wasn't just protecting Jen Shah, a criminal who's now behind bars, but it really did jeopardize a lot of other people's livelihoods. There was a whole investigation. It's one thing to be like, I don't remember. It's another thing to make light of it, make jokes about it, and then to insinuate that production had some sort of information that they were concealing or trying to, utilize it for the sake of, exploiting it on the show. Which they did exploit it on the show because they made it a big storyline.
Okay. Moving on.
The women give Heather grace, and then the cast basically decides that they don't see themselves moving forward with Monica. And we've since found out, according to first Ryan Bailey revealed it, then we saw it come out in people from multiple sources that they'd rallied, and then eventually Bravo and Shed Media confirmed it to Variety that Monica will not be returning for season 5. But they said never say never. The door is kind of open. Do you think Monica will come back?
Wait, who said never say never?
The senior vice president of Shed Media, which is the production company for Salt Lake.
No, I feel like she's coming back.
You think she is coming back?
I feel like in some way
she might.
I mean, look at her mother. Her mother found a way to be in every scene she possibly could.
I think they're going to bring back Mary, and I think Mary's going to be the gateway to get back into
there you go.
the show.
Mary said that she was only going to go to the reunion
come back to defend Monica. Yeah,
exactly. So
Sarah Bauer says, Monica didn't lie. I'd be pissed if she did that to me. Heather's situation snowballed but doubled down later. Heather seemed more manipulative. It was a terrible situation, but that can't be okay. Yeah, you can't lie about production. I wish Heather would have been, held to the fire a little bit more for that. But I feel like this part of the reunion didn't really give us much. We didn't get anything more about the black eye. We didn't get anything more about Reality Von Tease. We didn't get anything more about Monica. There was no resolution that came out of it. Were you satisfied with part 3?
I mean, I think that the resolution was they will have nothing to do with Monica. Like, that's the final word.
Which is also why Monica is not being asked back for season 5. Like, people are like, why are they firing her for being a blogger? It's like, they didn't fire her for being a blogger. They fired her for isolating herself from the rest of the cast, which is historically the standard move to make with a housewife when they no longer have any sort of relation to any of the cast. And if anything, this is the biggest isolation from any other cast member we've seen in any housewife show, because they really feel betrayed by her and they want nothing to do with her. And it's not like they're just saying, we don't want to film with her because we don't like her. Like, I believe there was an HR investigation that has been launched from this because they don't feel safe around Monica. So she has no friendships. There is no way for her to come back with, regard to Mary. I think they're saying that she's been put on pause because they want to hold her in the back pocket in case they need her, in case maybe ratings dip this next season. And they want to make sure that they can just pull her right back out and drop her back in should they need to. I'm sure the only way that they'll introduce her is through Mary.
Solid theory.
Any closing thoughts to wrap up Salt Lake?
Nope. I think that we're pretty good there. That was a great season, though.
It was a great season. And listen, you can't take away credit from Monica. She helped make it a great season. Without her, she really, took it home. Without Jen Shah, Monica carried that.
Well, I think that we will see her on an Ultimate Girls Trip one day. I would love to see an all villains Ultimate Girls Trip, but guess we'll see.
Kelly says, how many years has Dorinda been on pause now?
I don't know. I feel like she was taken off for Girls Trip. I love Dorinda.
I do love Dorinda too. I love Dorinda.
I don't know why she was ever put on pause.
Without Monica, season 4 would be a snooze fest. That is true. She definitely delivered in content.
She did.
And just giving Heather that receipts, proof, timeline, everything. Great. Such an iconic moment. Made it into the White House. Made it into Congress. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for a recap of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We will be back.
Short one.
Well, 30 minutes is a good.
I know. We usually go about an hour. I'm high and I'm hungry.
Yes, I'm hungry too. Let's get some dinner. We will be back next week. We will be recapping the premiere of Vanderpump. It's actually a really good premiere. I did see it.
I didn't.
I
So
know. It's a good one.
thanks,
All right.
Zach.
Erin D reminds us, as she always does, be sure to
Thank
subscribe
you.
to Josh, youtube.com/@Josh from Louisiana. He does recaps for Southern Charm New Orleans on Sundays. He cooks, he cleans, he makes it nice on his YouTube channel. So go and subscribe to him. We're trying to get him to 1,000. So if you have friends that want to, invest in some good, wholesome Southern content.
Yes, it's pretty wholesome on.
Why am I pimping your page out more
I
than you are?
The F word a lot, though. I noticed that about me. I think that's my favorite cuss word.
You do cuss a little.
Fuck. All right. Great season. Love you all.
All right, guys. Bye. We'll talk to you next week. Ciao for now. Bye.
Bye.